Hey guys, Ranger Georgie here with U.S. Fish and Wildlife from Laguna, Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge in partnership with the city of Brownsville. Happy Latino Conservation Week, everybody. I hope you all are having a good day. Today we're actually here. We're going to have a quick Q&A with Ranger Chris Quezada. He's a ranger at Laguna, Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge. As well, we're here with Raul Maroboto, City of Brownsville Athletic Supervisor. Raul.
So we got a couple of questions here for you, Chris. And I think the first thing, most importantly, we'd like for you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, thanks, Raul. My name is Chris Quezada. I'm here at Laguna, Atascosa. I'm in charge of anything that has to do with visitation, with the public, programs, recreation, all of that. Most of my background, I've grown up in the Valley most of my life, really big into the outdoors, and it's definitely something that people don't get out there and explore, which is one of the big reasons for coming into Fish and Wildlife. Some of my background, I've been in the military. I was in the Army for 4 or 5 years. And then I worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs, Department of Homeland Security. And then finally I came to Fish and Wildlife. I have a degree, and then currently I'm going to school for graphic design. I know that doesn't fit at all with what I'm doing here. But I came to Fish and Wildlife through something called the Pathways Program, which is an opportunity for a lot of young students to get into conservation. And then that is where you make it or break it. So you excel in the Pathways Program and you get an opportunity, which is, for me, it's really an opportunity of a lifetime to work in conservation.
Outstanding. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit more information on Laguna Atascosa itself as a refuge?
Atascosa down here in Cameron County is almost 110,000 acres, down from areas in Brownsville to parts of Willacy County. So that makes us a pretty big refuge. 110,000. That's a big chunk of land, and sectioned off into 4 areas. Laguna Atascosa unit, which is the unit I'm at right now. It's open to hiking and biking, birding, and other recreations like fishing out of Adolph Tomei County Park. We have the South Padre Island unit. That unit is, again, the island unit, protection of the sand dunes, sea turtles. We also have the coastal corridor, which connects Laguna Atascosa subunit, the Bahia Grande. Grande is everything south of Highway 100. For our audience, when you're headed down to the beach, there's a stretch with the black fence. Everything south of that is Bahia Grande. And the coastal corridor connects Laguna to Bahia Grande. Have a safe passage through those areas.
Mm-hmm.
With your message and the message for Laguna and for both of you that are rangers and representing U.S. Fish and Wildlife, down here, is there a specific demographic that you're trying to reach with a message? We
have this demographic that's usually constant for the refuge, and that's winter Texans. But right now, we're target younger audiences and the next generations of stewards. So anything grade school till about 35 is what we're trying to target. So we do that with night programs. And currently, because of COVID-19, we're not open and we're not open to programs. But we started doing night programs once a month throughout the summer last year, which were very popular. And they brought a lot of young audiences, which we had rarely seen before on the refuge. It's those audiences that will get out and message through social media. You can go ahead and use like hashtag Laguna Atascosa, and you see all this stuff pop out. And then use the hashtag National Wildlife Refuge, and it just gets people more aware, like, hey, what's the National Wildlife Refuge? What's Laguna Atascosa? And offering programs like that to those demographics will bring us a different audience, a different set of mind, and a new kind of.
What do you see some of the barriers for getting Latinos involved in nature? I mean, I understand there's always going to be barriers, especially when it comes to demographic, and here in the Valley, we face quite a few, but what do you think are some of the more pressing topics for that?
So some of those challenges are transportation. We have a large audience who just out to the refuge. We are a little bit out there. You know, we're about 35 minutes away from Port Isabel, and then maybe like an hour from Brownsville, 45 minutes from Harlingen. So we're far out there for, you know, easy access. The way we connect is by going out into those communities and presenting ourselves, which is a good thing with what you're doing, George, with the Urban Refuge Program. You know, you take the refuge and you take advantage of those little tracts of land that we have in Brownsville, and you open them up to the public. Another one is getting that our audiences, our Latino audience, to understand that there's more habitat than just monte. You know, down here we affiliate the outdoors with monte, which is open brushland, like savanna brushland, with a lot of mesquite. So you can ask, I mean, you can go ask somebody who's just unaware of the refuge if they know something about habitat, and they say, no, you know, the valley is puro monte, right? It's just this savanna, this open grassland. Biodiversity is something major here in the valley. You have a lot of plants. You have thousands of different plants, hundreds of trees. Something that you don't look like the usual monte that we're using in our communities. The farms that just start growing one species of trees in the small culture, and we're used to just seeing out here. So, you know, letting people biodiversity is something that exists in the valley. It's also been a challenge because it's not what they see when they drive out.
And then, so in that case, what can people do to support the cause? You know, what can we do to help?
So some of the ways to get involved just by getting out there. We want to be aware of what is available to us, and, you know, getting out to your local nature park, getting out to your local nature center, to your local national wildlife refuge, and just, you know, becoming aware that these green spaces are there for you. These are public lands, and public lands belong to the people. And you know, awareness is the biggest thing.
Yeah, so education and spreading the message, I think, is pretty much how we're going to be able to reach out to the community and the public. And I think in those efforts, like when we do beach cleanups here with the city or park cleanups with high school kids, and we try and involve them and reach out to local members of the community, especially at a young age, like we've mentioned before. So just another question we wanted to get to you real quick would be, how do you think culture has added value to your experience of the outdoors?
So down here, one of the things about our culture is that, and I'll make it a very small example. The Latino culture is, we see a lot of families out, you know, picnicking. A lot of families down here like to picnic. They like to go out to recreation areas, to parks, and they like to picnic. They like to form those memories, families that they can remember. And down here, something that happens is, you know, a lot of families go out to South Padre Island, and they form those experiences. And even if you don't know it, you're forming an experience in the outdoors that can be applied to basically anywhere else you go. So at places like Laguna, Atascosa, you know, those moments when you go with your family, you go with grandpa, tia, tío, you know, abuela, everybody that you go out with, that the Latino culture kind of tends to congregate around. You keep carrying those experiences.
I definitely agree. That's a lot of good points that you make, you know, especially with picnicking. And I think everyone's just different. Mine happened to be just hunting, you know, hunting and fishing. And that's, I think, big in the Latino culture, at least in the South Texas culture, which is primarily, you know, Latino. And I feel like that's what really turned me towards the conservation, towards wanting to even work with the greatest conservation agency on, you know, earth, U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Well, that does conclude our questions. I want to thank you so much for your time, Chris, for taking your time out of your busy day. I know everything's a little hectic right now there, Laguna. So thank you for taking the time out of your day. For those of you watching at home, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. Again, happy Latino Conservation Week, guys. Stay tuned. We got more stuff for you tomorrow.